record of their groundnut transactions.
We were here last year on 3 occasions, farmers claiming that they have not been paid. And I jolly well remember with my little Mandinka, we asked one of them, where did you sell your your nuts? He said, in Temalong. So, you see, this is, in a the buying of groundnuts has been liberalized. It's not only GGC who is in the field, others are doing it.
The GGC finally had its activity report, audited accounts and financial statements adopted, thus joining the long list of public corporations and enterprises that surmounted hurdles a good number of institutions failed to scale. Modulamin Siso, GRTS News.
A scheme championed by the Yai Company Union of Fajikunda recently disbursed loans amounting to $72,000 to 12 women groups in the area. The low-interest loan, which is paid within a lengthy period, is used by the association to venture into lucrative businesses. And Daikumba Demba witnessed the disbursement exercise, and she now reports.
Women groups all over the country, in their drive to empower themselves through small business enterprises, have now what is called Yai Kampin Kafu. Yai Kampin Kafu is a joint association of different kafus within a ward or municipality. The joint union raises funds through various means. Proceeds from the fundraiser are later loaned to kafus with little interest and payable within a considerable period of time.
Right now, today, in fact, we have given 12 Yai companies an amount of 72,000, which is a very good sum, and each of them has gone home with 6,000, 12 of them. So that amount, they are going to work for almost about 5 months. So after the 5 months, so they will bring back the money. Others can also enjoy.
The president of the Yai Kampin Kafu, Amy Sonko, said her association since its inception has helped various women kafus, noting this is not the first time the union is lending out money to women associations. She commended the women for their commitment to paying the loans on time. She, however, called on all those in the position to help the association to step in and complement their efforts in their drive to better their livelihood. Ward Councillor member Gassama and Sekuna, 5 constituencies chairman, both commended the women for what they describe as a laudable venture. They urged the women to unite, for it is in unity that much can be achieved. The mayor of KMC, Yankuba Koli, hailed the efforts of the women. He urged them to continue on the hard work, saying initiatives like this one has the prospect of yielding greater benefits. He disclosed that his municipality has plans to set aside $1 million yearly for women empowerment initiatives. Fatu Dumbi and other speakers also shared similar views. Aja Awajob is leader of one of the kafus who were given the $6,000 loan. I will sit with my company members and we would evaluate various lucrative businesses and then decide uniformly as to which one can yield us more profits, she told me. Gambian women clearly are into everything that can better their lives. Initiatives like this one are becoming a household name for women in almost all regions of the country, with the prospect of strengthening their empowerment drives. For GRTS News, I am Daikumba Demba.
You can also follow that story on the GRTS programs live on our website at www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio Live. From there we take our first break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. There have been street fighting in the Senegalese capital, Dakar, between police and students venting their anger against the killing of a demonstrator on Tuesday. The United Nations has already raised concern over the excessive use of force by authorities in the West African nation. Meanwhile, Dakar says criticisms directed at it are groundless. For more on the reaction of France as well, let's go with the CFI report.
Tear gas and rubber bullets. There was street fighting in Dakar on Wednesday between Senegalese police and students protesting the killing of a demonstrator on Tuesday. He was run over by a police truck.
We must call on the forces of order to stop killing people. We are not animals, we are human beings.
The United Nations has already expressed concern about the excessive use of force by the Senegalese authorities and asked for an official investigation. In Paris, the French Foreign Affairs Minister addressed the issue in Parliament. The tension in Senegal is also upsetting its former colonial power.
The Constitutional Council validated 14 candidates, including Mr. Wade, but not Youssou N'Dour. This triggered a number of demonstrations, sometimes peaceful, sometimes violent. What did I say? I said we regretted that certain sensibilities were not represented. We even said we would like to see if a change of generations could be organized. The message was heard in Dakar.
The Senegalese authorities were quick to respond. Dakar said it received no official notification of the positions taken by France and the US. Washington was first to publicly demand that Abdoulaye Wade step down.
The criticisms that were directed at us are groundless, false. These countries must learn to respect us. We are a sovereign country, a free country, which assumes its destiny in a responsible manner.
Is Abdoulaye Wade playing with fire, asks the Senegalese press. As protesters speak about a Senegal spring, the president is referring to their discontent as a temper tantrum, a breeze, he says, which will never turn into a hurricane.
It is one of the deadliest incidents in the history of football. More than 70 people have been left dead and 100 others injured in post-match clashes in Egypt. Although it seems premature to tell who is behind the violence, some say the attacks have been planned. An immediate investigation has been launched with the head of Egypt's Supreme Military Council vowing that the perpetrators will be brought to book. We have details in this report.
Killed at least 74 people at a football stadium and left hundreds injured was, of course, on all the front pages of Egypt's newspapers. The violence broke out after the home team beat a team from Cairo. It was one of the deadliest incidents in football history. Survivors described scenes of chaos.
We went into a tunnel. The doors were shut with chains. The lights were off, and they started firing rubber bullets. I swear to God, I saw people being thrown from the stadium steps.
The clashes erupted as soon as the referee blew the final whistle. According to witnesses, hundreds of fans of the local team, which had won the match 3-1, ran onto the pitch and threw rocks and bottles at Cairo supporters. The violence spiraled out of control. People were stabbed, some were thrown from stadium seats, some trampled. There was chaos and panic as players and fans ran in all directions to flee. The question Egyptians are asking themselves is how this could have happened.
It's difficult to imagine people in Port Said doing something like that after they won 3-1. I doubt they could do something like that. What took place was planned, but we don't know who was behind it.
That's a question that the Egyptian authorities are going to try to answer. The head of the ruling military council sent 2 planes to Port Said overnight to evacuate the injured. He also vowed to track down the culprits. An immediate investigation into the violence has been ordered.
Based on the results of the investigation, those involved will be tried fairly, and we will ensure that we track down the plotters of this incident.
Anger is mounting in Port Said. Some are alleging a plot to inflame nationwide unrest. The Muslim Brotherhood, the most important political force to emerge in post-Mubarak Egypt, has directly blamed the violence on supporters of the toppled dictator. The government held an emergency cabinet session Thursday, and some football officials were sacked.
And before we go, a reminder of our headlines. State House has issued a media release stating that the head of state has dissolved his cabinet. The Father God Foundation has rolled out a multi-million-dollar sports infrastructure project earmarked for St. Augustine Senior Secondary School. The deadliest incident in football, Post-match clashes in Egypt have left more than 70 people dead and hundreds of others injured.